Aloha, my friends. Chef Don here, Chef Treva. We're so happy to be here. We come from Morro Bay, California. Our beautiful company is called Inspired Dining Events, where we are private chefs, educators, teachers, highlighting what the Central Coast offers for our beautiful guests who invite us into their homes. So a little bit of history for me. I grew up in Los Angeles. I was afforded the luxury of dining at incredible restaurants. Spago when Wolfgang Puck was just a chef in 1983, making his way on Sunset Boulevard. Venice, Harry's Bar and Grill, Harry Cipriani, the legend, told me to order the hamburger. And it fueled something in me that I do to this day, many years later, as you can see by my gray hairs, a love of hospitality and bringing people together through food and wine. And so today what we want to do is help show you our love and what's really important for us. So I'm so grateful that you're here, and we hope you enjoy what we present to you and what we show you and teach you. You can find us at inspireddiningevents.com, also on Instagram, which is inspired_dining, which is run by my beautiful daughter, Madison Carr, who is not here, but she's with me in spirit. I love you, Maddie. So again, we hope you enjoy the show, what we have to show you, and we hope you reach out to us if you do view. And again, thank you so much for being here. And to Treva, I love you.
Me too.
Thank you. Aloha. You always need a better half. And so we played everything with love. We're going to sprinkle that, and so hopefully you feel that today. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Hey everybody, we're back. We've got Chef Treva doing her delightful finishes. I'm so excited about this, so I'm going to let her tell you what she's doing.
Today we're doing a pecan-crusted marble cake, and it is gluten-free. It has oat milk in it rather than your basic dairy. So the first thing you want to do always is wash your hands, which I've already done. The second thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 350 degrees. And from there, I'm going to take you through the recipe. I've already chopped up my pecans and my pepitas, and I'm going to mix that with melted butter and brown sugar, a half cup each. So you're going to go in and stir up your butter and your brown sugar nice and well, so it's well combined. You're going to pour that in your bowl of chopped prepared nuts already. Mix that in your nuts really well. And you're going to take, I'm making 2 small cakes today. So this recipe can make 1 round or 2 smalls, or even like a square pan. You don't necessarily have to do it in the pans I'm doing it in. But the pans are already prepped with butter, and they're lined on the bottom with parchment. And all you do is you take your parchment, you trace the bottom of the pan, cut it out and stick it in. So you put this on the bottom of your pan and coat the whole bottom so that it's all covered. This cake, because it's coated with pecans and pepitas on the bottom, it takes a little bit longer to bake. It's gonna take 45 minutes to bake. That's why we're starting this first before dinner. So that way when dinner is finished, then we have a delightful finish as well.
And she saved me a little bit, so I'm going to take a little snack. Make sure it's good.
Little snackage.
Oh yeah, it's incredible, Chef.
So you want to coat your pans so they're completely finished. Now we're going to do the marbling. So we're going to make a basic cake recipe, which actually is, because it's gluten-free, I did an 1/8 cup of tapioca, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 cups of gluten-free flour. Now we're going to take our 1/2 cup of butter and sugar, and we're actually going to mix this. You want to mix this until it's kind of a fluffy blend.
This part takes a minute too, so.
It takes a minute, and I wanted to show you, because some people don't know like what fluff means and what fold means. So I wanted to show you.
You fold it in, Treva.
You want to mix it pretty well, like kind of get in there and get it nice. So the butter starts to, and you want your butter softened. You don't want it cold, but you don't want it melted. It's kind of one of those particular things. Then you want to take your eggs, and I crack them 1 at a time, because you never know, the egg can be bad. So you just crack 1 egg at a time. I beat it a tiny bit. It's a mixing job. When you mix it into the bowl a little bit easier, you don't have to mess with it so much. And you take your next egg, and if the egg is bad, you'll see it'll have like blood in it, or it'll be a little cloudy, but these eggs look pretty good, so we're using both of them. Thanks, Chef. That bowl is done, thank you.
Is it done yet? Because I'm ready for dessert.
No, it's not done yet. And then you want to beat your egg in here pretty well with your sugar and your butter. And you want this to mix really well, so it's all one consistent. You don't want it to be separated. So you want to get a nice finish in there. Then you do a 1/2 cup of oat milk, 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
That's vanilla extract.
It is vanilla extract, but it is organic. I try to buy organic everything if I can. And the next thing you do is you mix all of the wet ingredients into the dry ingredients. And you just want to make sure it's a nice, consistent, cohesive blend. And I like to get all of that out of there, all the goodness, every little bit. Especially with the price of eggs these days, you want to get all, I'm just gonna leave this in here for a sec. Thanks, Chef. You wanna mix this in a little bit. And you wanna mix it until there's no lumps. You don't want any lumps in your cake. A cake can be mixed pretty well. You want a nice, smooth, silky finish. Now I'm only, because this is a marble cake, I'm only going to put 1/2 of this in here. So now I'm going to do just little dollops.
It's a fun word, dollop.
Dollop. It's a fun word. A little bit of a messy baker, but it's okay. And I'm actually going to utilize this bowl for the rest of my vanilla to put to the side. So now I'm going to add the cocoa to the rest of the batter. So now I'm making it a marble, so I'm adding chocolate. And this is just the Ghirardelli cocoa. And I have to add a little bit of milk to that.
About how much was that?
It's a 1/2 cup, another 1/2 cup of milk. And then with this, I'm gonna get it nice and consistent, and then I'm gonna add the chocolate chips next.
Always compliment your chef in the kitchen. Whether it's your partner, your wife, your kids, complimenting them will help the food come out better, I promise.
Yeah, you gotta sprinkle it in with some love. Well, that's the last ingredient. We'll do that last though. So you want all of that nice and mixed well in there. Like I said.
Take your time on this. She has done this countless times. She's a complete pro. But there's no rush, unless you're in a rush for a birthday cake. So.
If you're making food for children, a lot of times they don't like to be patient. So I tried to be a fast baker. My son would actually time me how long it would take me to get an order of cookies out.
This is an educational thing we're doing. It's not a competition. So take your time here.
Yes, we are. So you want to do half your layers, and then you go up over the dollops. On the other dollops, you mix them up. So you put white on top of the brown to make it marbly. And I just really I have a hard time deciding if I want vanilla cake or chocolate cake, personally. I like them both quite a lot. I have chocolate chips. So I'm going to sprinkle some chocolate chips in here between the next layer. And actually, this is Belgium chocolate that I bought and just chopped up the bars. You can buy chips if you like. Just buy whatever chocolate you like. This is actually milk for today. And then the next layer is going to be the chocolate. And you put the chocolate on top of where the vanilla was. And it's kind of cool. It's like a spotted pretty cake. And then you get to taste like a little bite of each thing. And then you just want to, oop, I spilled. See, messes happen. It's not a big deal. You just kind of wipe it off and go. Like I said,
I definitely would have licked that off my finger.
Little bit of a messy.
She's baking, so she's going to be sanitary. Good for you.
Well, it has raw eggs. I try not to do the raw egg thing. And then with the cake, before you bake it, you want to bounce it like a little bit of a bunny. Get all those pockets out, and you want your cake to be nice and even on the top. So now what we're going to do is stick it in the oven at 350 degrees. Before that, we have to sprinkle it with love. So my dad did this. He was a chef, and he would have a shaker, and he'd sprinkle love on all of the food. And that's the part that makes it taste so good.
That's what we do at Inspired Dining Events.
Yeah, everything's plated with love.
Friends, we're so excited to kick us off today with gems from the sea. We're going to do a little combination of caviar and oysters, and when you have both, you have to have incredible sparkling wine. So I'm going to start by introducing you to Siner Lavalle, my good friend Mike Siner from Avila Beach. He's been making wine on the Central Coast for nearly 30 years, called the godfather of Pinot. This is actually from Bassi Vineyards in Avila Beach, and they are truly a coastal wine. And this that we're serving today is the Eclipse, done in the, I'm terrible at French, so I'm not even gonna try, the Champagne method. Treva over here could do the French, but we're just gonna stick to English. So when you're opening a bottle of champagne, you don't want the pop sound. Just give it a little twist, and you're gonna get a little fizz. Here it comes, ready? There we are. So when I'm in the kitchen, I like to have some bubbles for inspiration, but you always start with your friends. Treva, the love of my life. Chris, Gore, incredible sous chef extraordinaire. Thank you, chef. And when I pour the champagne, turn it at an angle. You don't want it frothing over. There's that. So cheers, my friends.
Cheers.
Cheers, my friends.
Cheers. All right, now that we have some liquid courage, we're gonna go to the good stuff. This is caviar from the Caviar Company in San Francisco, California. Women-owned, women-led. They're sustainable, which means healthy farming, treating these animals very, very well. A lot of love is poured into this product. This is the classic white that I serve quite often with my guests. And we're going to teach you today about doing bumps and bubbles. We have the bubbles, so now we're going to do a bump. If you guys want to come over here. All my friends, they know how to do bumps, so watch how they do. So we're going to go into this here. I'm going to start. So you get a nice amount of roe here, and then you guys can go ahead and take that. There's a caviar spoon. And then from here, right there like that. Your body temperature is going to warm it up a touch, and then when you're ready, you just basically take it in your mouth, lick it, push it on the roof of your mouth. This beautiful roe does not need to be chewed, and your mouth knows what to do with food. So here we go. Incredible. Beautiful brine. Petra and her team at the Caviar Company, they are absolutely phenomenal. So we're going to move on to oysters next. I'll tell you about those in a little bit, but we have our caviar, which is going to be infused throughout what we're doing today, so it's going to be a lot of fun with that. And while we move on to talking about the oysters, with caviar, once it's open, it'll stay fresh in the refrigerator in the coldest part for about 4 to 5 weeks, sometimes longer. But when you open it, plan on enjoying these beautiful gems from the sea. So I'll intro Grassy Bar Oyster Company, my dear friends George and his incredible team in Morro Bay, California, where I live. He's been raising oysters, they're Pacific Golds. He's been raising them for almost 20 years. George is truly a savant. They're some of the best oysters in the world. But a lot of times people are like, ooh, an oyster, how do I open it? And so we're going to show you that without hopefully hurting myself. But we're going to start with a mignonette. And a mignonette is a traditional French pairing with oysters. There's shallots, pepper, red wine vinegar. We did go do a little bit more today. We're going to infuse some cucumber, jalapenos, shallots, strawberry, white wine vinegar, a little citrus. So I'm going to get started on that and I'll show you how to do that. We have a little beeping going on, which is okay. So, shallots, cucumbers, strawberries, a little bit of jalapeno. And one thing, you guys, there's no right or wrong way how to do this, right? I'm Chef Don, I do it a certain way, but I really want you guys to go, what works for me? If you like a little more spice, you want to kick it up a bit, add a little more jalapeno, which I do. I'm going to hit it here. So from there, give it a little mix. Beautiful color in there. White wine vinegar. And just a little bit, right? Once we open these oysters, they have a beautiful brine, beautiful salt. So just a little bit of vinegar, not too much. And you can always add more. One thing, when I'm demonstrating how to cook, showing people how to cook, you can always add, but you can't take away. So I'm liking that consistency. I'm gonna hit it with a little bit of coarse pepper, sometimes a little more than you think. I'm loving this here. And I love citrus. So here's a little trick. My chef, Chris, took the seeds out, God bless him. Sometimes you don't have time, you're going fast. You can use your fingers as a little sieve, right? And I'm always looking at where the seeds know, and then I twist, get the right amount. Beautiful. And chef, if you want to bring out the oysters for us and the ice, we'll start presenting that and plating that. One of the great joys that I have when I'm preparing for our guests at inspired dining events, or cooking for my family or friends, whoever it may be, we always want to make our food beautiful. So chef, you want to just come right over here? Just there, thank you so much. And don't forget your champagne and your bubbles. Thank you, Mike, and your team at Siner Lavalli. We love you guys. So our mignonette is looking pretty good. So we have a beautiful bed. In my view, this is like the ocean. I'm a surfer, so go ahead and hit this with a little bit of ice. You can use crushed ice, regular ice, but you want these oysters nice and cold. These were harvested just a couple days ago. Actually, 2 days ago. Flown all the way to New York, which we're thrilled about. So thank you for that, George. And we have a plate here that are already shucked, thanks expertly to Chris. But I'm going to teach you how to do this. And they say it takes 10,000 hours to become an expert. Shucking oysters can be a challenge. Getting a glove on can be a challenge. So take your time. But these beauties are locked up trying to not be consumed by otters and the like. So when you look at an oyster, there's a little notch right here. And I've shucked many of these, so I kind of have a general idea. So you can go start at a certain angle. Once you find that knife is in there, where you can hold it, then you know you're good. And now I'm just going to give it a little twist back and forth. And then I work my way around the top of the shell, releasing it from that muscle, that top muscle. Beautiful. Thank you, chef. So there she is in her glory. So now, like any creature, there's some parts you don't necessarily want to enjoy. So I'm going to release her from the foot. I'm going to just go over to my can here and drain some of that. You can kind of see in here, there's a little schmutz. We'll get rid of that. Beautiful. Now, from a presentation standpoint, I'm always looking for where does it naturally want to fit, right? So I'm going to have my shell direction going a certain way, all one way typically. Again, no right or wrong way. Just going to gently place these beauties in a way that feels good. And that's what you should do at home. What feels good? Again, there's no right or wrong way. And being a lifelong surfer, I appreciate the ocean. I appreciate these gems from the sea. They lived a long time from seed to here. Try and respect our food as we consume them. One thing about oysters, they are some of the healthiest foods that you can buy and enjoy. I'm going to shell another one. Sometimes I go a little too fast. So again, we're looking for that little hole right in there. I take my blade. Once I'm in there, there it is. Pop. Now from there, I'm holding it flat because I don't want the brine to fall out. That liquor, that's beautiful flavor. And it's fresh water, not salt water. It's got some nice brine flavor to it, which is great. I rotate that off. Again, holding that oyster steady. Beautiful. And again, now it's time to expect. You can see here, right? That's not edible. Unless y'all know what to do with something that doesn't look edible, don't eat it. Beautiful. Give that a little turn. A lot of liquor in here, so we're just going to drain that a little bit. Beautiful. Put that right there. Now, we'll see if my team needs a little more champagne, more bubbles. Everybody, bring your bubbles over. Beautiful. And so final presentation. I like to have the first oyster. When you're doing an oyster, my recommendation, try it just as it is, just as God intended. And then you can zhuzh it up with some lemon, some cocktail sauce, some mignonette. And again, always putting some love on this plate. So when people look at it, they think, wow, isn't that beautiful? If it looks beautiful, most likely it's going to taste nice. So I'm going to kick us off. We should have a couple of oyster forks right over there, Chef. If you could pull that off the microwave for me, thanks. So when you're enjoying an oyster, the wide part towards your mouth, here's the shell. I put it right up to my mouth. Just slide it right off. Just a delicate chew, and you're good to go. Absolutely incredible. So why don't you guys step in there and enjoy an oyster as you see fit, and then enjoy the mignonette. Treva loves the oysters.
I do.
Beautiful. Chef?
Allergic.
And my chef's allergic, so it's more for us. So we're grateful for your shucking skills. Thank you. So now we're gonna have some fun. So we've tasted just kind of like God intended. Now I'm gonna give Treva a little mignonette. Again, shallots, cucumbers, jalapenos, white wine vinegar. You can use red wine vinegar, a little bit of pepper. There you go, my love.
Mm-hmm.
So very delicate, very lovely. What do you think, Treva?
Incredible.
I caught her mid-bite. She said it's incredible. So I'm going to do one more here, you guys.
I'm a huge fan of your mignonette. So.
All right, so we got the mignonette. Going to hit it there. Some beautiful color, good flavor. Absolutely incredible. Now, this is where it gets fun. We've done it with the mignonette by itself. Again, you can do cocktail sauce, horseradish, Tabasco. There's no right or wrong on the oyster, but my good friends from the Caviar Co. in San Francisco have sent us, thank you, some beautiful caviar. We've done the royal white. Let's do the Kaluga, or excuse me, the Osetra. Beautiful. You see the coloring here. I'm going to take one of these expertly shucked oysters from Chef Chris. We're going to put a mound right there. Again, there's no right or wrong way to do this. That is exceptional. Treva?
I'm happy to have her.
See, again, there's no right or wrong way to do it. She's throwing that on there. We're enjoying some incredible sparkling Eclipse from, oh, incredible. Absolutely beautiful. So that is bumps and bubbles. That is oysters on the half shell with the seasonal mignonette. We added some caviar. Have fun with it, play with it. And again, when you guys are shucking oysters, use that glove, take your time, follow a video. You can certainly find us on Inspired Dining events. I'm more than happy to share with you as well. So we have your beautiful grassy bar oysters here. We're gonna show you how several ways that you can plate, present, and really wow your guests or your family or whoever you're chefing for. So we're gonna start with our mignonette. Again, we have our shallots, cucumbers, strawberries, and we just hit these. And again, no right or wrong. We're just gonna work our way around. And because we have this beautiful caviar here, we're doing this as well. Our classic white. And this I'm gonna use my fingers, just a nice little dollop. Yep, I did that. You're gonna be the hit of your parties if you pull this one off. And I can't wait to share more with you. I'm always looking at color. Look, we had a little happy accident to steal that from Bob Ross. Let's put a little caviar on top of the mignonette. Now we're gonna finish some beautiful trout roe, the Caviar Co. My friends, beautiful trout roe. Look at that color. I'm being very liberal here. That's caviar, bubbles, and oysters. Actually, we're gonna finish with a traditional nice potato chip, creme fraiche, little caviar, and chives. Really easy. Creme fraiche, just fancy sour cream. Little dollop there. Again, no right or wrong. Whatever feels good to you. You like a lot, put a lot. You like a little, put a little. And this is where we want to be generous. And our beautiful caviar. Use your finger to kind of control how it falls off. I like to let things naturally happen. Some people want to use tweezers. It's all good. Be you. Do you in the kitchen. Last one. There it is. So there we are. We have oysters on the half shell, mignonette, beautiful caviar, caviar chips, creme fraiche, and we're going to finish it just really quickly with some chives. There you are. So the next thing we're going to talk about and learn how to do is an artichoke. And who thought that they could eat this thorny, spiky thing? Well, thank God they did, because they're absolutely delicious, but I'm going to show you how to simply do these to prepare them. We're going to pair it with a nice citrus aioli, and aioli is a mayonnaise-based sauce. We'll get into that in a minute, but we got to start with the artichoke itself. But before we go there, again, my good friends, Mike Seiner, Evan, love you guys. Greetings from where we are in New York to you back in Avila Beach. This is their Slow Coast Pinot Noir. So proud of Mike and his team for actually having Slow Coast as an AVA. Very difficult to do, so we're grateful for you, and so we salute you here. Cheers. Ah, incredible. So when I'm doing these artichokes, I'm going to take this very end off, and again, for presentation, I want it to look beautiful. From there, I'm using a serrated knife. These are Messermeister from Ojai, California. We try and source most of our things from the Central Coast where we live and love. Incredible knives, Messermeister. Give them a look. So I'm going to split it right down the middle. Right in half. There you are. And then from here, we're going to go to the back here. We've got a boiling pot of water. Got my lemon, my artichokes. We're going to hit it with some kosher salt. Be liberal. Beautiful. Lemon. Seeds don't matter. I like to cook these face down. And to get even cooking, what we want to do is submerge them a little bit. So get a little plate that'll float those. All right. And depending on the size of the artichoke, you're looking at anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes. What you don't want to do is have a mushy artichoke. So while those are preparing, I'm going to teach you my famous citrus aioli, which my guests have said you'd like to take a bath in. I think that's a compliment, but bathe in the aioli at your own risk. So we start with mayonnaise. Make it myself. Best Food's great. Heilmann's is great. Nice little dollop. And from there we have some beautifully minced garlic. Thank you, chef. And I like it garlicky. So one thing about garlic, the more you mince, the finer it is, the more flavor is going to pop out of there. So this mince, you're going to have really heavy, nice, rich garlic flavor. I've got my garlic, cracked pepper. And again, you can always add, you can't take it away. Chili flakes, because I like a little spice in my life. If you don't like the spice, don't put it in there. And again, do it how you want to do it. This is how we do it. At Inspired Dining events, you do it how you want. Gonna hit it with a little fresh, beautifully minced parsley. Gives it some nice, beautiful color. Citrus, again, create that little colander with your hands. You got some seeds in there. Now no seeds in there. And I'm always checking to make sure there's no seed, because the last thing you want is a bitter lemon seed in your aioli. And because it's citrus, we're gonna hit it with a little beautiful Cara orange. We're looking for consistency, for balance. We give a little stir. I'm looking for color. That beautiful parsley. Little finger test. And again, depending on the flavor profile, I'm looking for garlic forward. That's going to hit you, and then the citrus is going to kick in. And I think we got this just right. So it's a good thing I've cooked about 10,000 artichokes in my life and made this aioli more times than I can count. So I hope you try it. I hope you like it. Now, from a presentation standpoint, those artichokes are still going, but what we've done here, we par cooked some earlier. So remember when I showed you the artichoke when it was cooked? All this not edible, all right? But this is very, very easy. So you just take your finger here, and if it's cooked properly, they should just slide right out. Nice and gentle like that. Hit the trash there. This fringy stuff, I use my finger and just kind of slide right over the heart. And we'll talk about the heart in a minute. I clean all that out. But all that, you've got the beautiful leaves, you got the heart. I'll do this with the 3 others. And behind me, I've got a hot grill. So if you've got a barbecue, be charcoal, regular grill, smoker, anything just to give it a nice little char. Because these artichokes are already cooked. Now all we want to do is really just heat them up and get a nice little char, a little caramelization. I'm going to do one more artichoke here. And again, thank you, chef. As we're presenting and plating, as you're thinking about this in the kitchen, especially if you have a party waiting for your food, right? It's okay to tell people, hey, we're a few minutes away from being ready to go. And if you like to teach like I do, you can come in there. Beautiful, thank you. So we have some beautiful olive oil from Essex Olive Oil and Spice in Manhattan. Saad is an incredible human being, Moroccan. This product is absolutely incredible. My chef's reading my mind over here. So what I'm doing over here, you guys, I'm just putting a little olive oil on a plate. I've got my baster, all right? And I'm gonna wanna baste all the parts that are edible. So those inner leaves, I like to keep the stem intact, just from a presentation standpoint, it looks pretty, just like the plant is in nature. Give that a nice brushing. Okay, like that. I'm going to flip them over, do the same, because we're going to grill both sides on that hot grill behind me. And if you have beautiful people in the back who are helping you, working with you, communication's great, right? Hey, is the grill hot? Yep, it is, great. If you're by yourself, those are all the things you got to be mindful of. All right, so we've got that basted. Now I'm going to hit this with a little bit of salt. Most of this is going to fall off on the grill, but it'll give it some nice flavor. And that grill's hot, so I'm going to come right here on the left. Always test your grill, right? You can feel the hot spots. So I know where it's hot. Oh, you hear that nice sizzle. That's basically going right over the flame. Now while those are searing up, I'm going to kind of clean as I go, get my space dialed in. I have the queen of organization here. Do that. When you're organized and you have mise en place, which means everything in its place, it's going to breed creativity, right? It's going to help you see things a little clearer. When it's messy, you're all over the place. So really work on that. It takes time and takes practice. Be good to yourself. We've got our aioli over here. Don't forget our caviar. We're going to finish this dish with the caviar. So those artichokes, again, they're already cooked. I'm just looking for a nice sear. I like to work back to front. So if I put something on the grill first here, that's the first thing I'm going to turn. So try and have some order when you're on the grill. And I'm just looking for a little char. So now I'm going to do a little quarter turn, little hash mark. Same thing here. Yeah, I've got some nice brownie notes, gorgeous. Same thing here. Okay. And we're just going to let those go a little bit longer. And again, we want them to heat up. And to save dishes, great thing that you can do, I staged these before they were cooked on the plate. Now it's ready for presentation. Got my handy dandy towel. Sometimes a wet rag is nice to use. And then take a deep breath. Everything's good. We enjoy our Pinot. We have beautiful people behind us. While that's going on another second, I'll just tell you about Sinar Lavale. They have the Shuck Shack in Avila Beach. Mike and his team, they have caviar service and oysters, tinned fish, charcuterie, local bakeries, and they're the most lovely people. They're right across from the beach in Avila Beach. Absolutely incredible. Go into the Shuck Shack, tell them that you met Chef Don, and they will take very, very good care of you. So I'm going to go back and turn these artichokes. We're getting close. Thank you, Chef. Yeah, beautiful char, just like we like them. Okay, beautiful. So now those artichokes are warmed up. Don't be afraid to touch them. Feel that nice heat. And again, starting from back to front. Beautiful. All right. Now this is when the artist comes in. Have fun with this, right? Again, there's no right or wrong way. Gonna use my beautiful knives from Messermeister. I've got some rounds that have already been sliced for me. Just gonna take those in half. I've got 3. And because I like a little spice in my life, take a little red chili flakes. Nice and tight right down that middle. And if you know you have some guests that like it, some don't, that's okay. What I do, when I present this, you guys will see, I'm gonna take the aioli, and I'm gonna slowly just kind of fill that cup. Let that aioli drip right in there. Beautiful. Almost like a little aioli tub. Beautiful. So when you see how to do something that you look in the grocery store, like how do I do an artichoke? Well, now you know. So tell your friends, not that difficult. So again, this element here is fun. I'm just gonna place this little chili lemon right there. And I'll tell my guests, if you want a spice in your life, you like a little more lemon juice, squeeze it on there. You'll get that chili flake, that little nice spice. If you don't, you can just put it to the side. Beautiful. We've got some garden fresh parsley, nice greenery. And I just like to just kind of let things fall as they may. I don't want to force things. Too old to force things in my life. Or I'm too young, one of the two. I'm happy with that. Now because some people might want a little more dipping sauce, we always love to surprise and delight with a little extra sauce. Start by serving that right in the middle of the dish. Beautiful. Thank you, chef. I'm gonna plate that right in the middle. So this dish is nearly complete. But if you had caviar from Gems from the Sea, you've got a little bit left. This is where it can get really exciting. And we're gonna use our beautiful Oysters caviar from the Caviar Company in San Francisco. And we're just gonna do a really nice, generous dollop right in the middle. Oh. I wish you all could try this. Every last drop. Those fish lived a long time to bring us this pleasure. I'm gonna put that right there in the middle. And then I'm gonna do this. Because when you're the chef in your kitchen, you can do that, no rules. All right, so grilled artichokes, citrus aioli, and Oysters caviar from the Caviar Co. I hope you enjoy. Okay friends, here we are, the main course. We have something beautiful ready to show you today. We've got the Denver cut. It's also known as the zabuton, but here in the States, the Denver cut. We've sourced this beautiful meat from Foster Sundry, incredible meat market in Brooklyn. Go see them if you're in New York. If you're not, order from them. They're phenomenal. Wait till you guys get a shot of what the zabuton is. I describe this cut as a blend between a New York ribeye and filet all in one. Beautiful marbling, but when it's seared on our cast iron, which you'll see behind here, that we're getting hot, it's going to render down, and all you're going to have is a beautiful cut of meat. We're pairing that today with Chef Don's chimichurri. Chimichurri is a beautiful finishing dish. I incorporate parsley, shallot, cilantro, oregano, orange juice, lemon. We'll go through the recipe. But I would encourage you to try your own. Throw some mint in there, throw some sugar, see what your flavor profile looks like. We're going to be pairing that with king oyster mushrooms that have been beautifully scarred. Thank you, Chef Chris. And we're also going to do that with some beautiful olive oil from Essex Olive Oil and Spice in Manhattan. Go see Sod.
Essex Market.
Essex Market. Thank you, Chef. I'm from California. Lived in New York a bit, but the true New Yorker tells me Essex Market. You guys are going to love it. A lot of great shops there as well. So we're going to get started. I'm going to do a little prep here, right? So everything's laid out. Let's start with our oysters. Oyster mushrooms. Beautiful king oysters. Light little coating of olive oil, front and back. Nice little baste. Beautiful mushrooms. Make sure when you're doing mushrooms, know they're edible. Take a picture of them on Google. It'll tell you if you can eat it or not. If you eat it, you might have an issue. We don't want that. We want you to enjoy your mushrooms. And I got to give a shout out to my friend Chris at Mighty Cat Mushrooms in Paso Robles, some of the best mushrooms on the planet being grown in Paso Robles, California. Absolutely incredible. We're spoiled. We get to go to a farmer's market in Morro Bay where we live. Treva and I.
Yes.
I love you. Just got to say that on camera. I love her, my soulmate. Thank you. That's one thing too, you guys. When you're in your kitchen, you're the chef. Okay? A lot of celebrity chefs, TV chefs, a lot of fanfare. If you cook food with love and you do it with people that you love and for people you love, you're a chef. It's a good time to say we sprinkle everything with love. A lot of it, dash it in there, but it's really got to come from here. The jar is just a reminder. So Treva, thank you for incorporating that into our lives. Every day we cook for each other. So I'm basting this onion. And one thing as I cook, I really like the flavors of what I'm serving to stand for themselves. I don't over sauce. I don't over season. People want extra seasoning, salt and pepper. Put a nice finishing salt, a Maubon, whatever your favorite finishing salt on the table, and people can salt to taste. So let's move on to the zabuton, or the Denver cut. Always cook a steak at room temperature. Let it sit out, let that muscle relax, right? And then from here, we're gonna season. And remember, you can always add, you can't take away. So this is finishing salt. I'm gonna squish it up a little bit. Let your eyes be the guide, depending on your flavor profile. This is coarse pepper. You can use cracked pepper, fine pepper, whatever you want. And remember, when you throw it on that grill, a lot of it falls off, so people tend to under-season. We want a nice crust on this steak. And this is fun. From my hometown, Suzy Q's, Santa Maria season, no MSG. It's incredible. It can go on fish, veggie, steak, anything you want. You can only get it in Santa Maria, California, San Luis Obispo County. So you all know how to get a hold of me. We'll make sure that we share that info. But Suzy Q's from Santa Maria. I'm gonna hit both sides. So when I'm doing this, I'm gonna press it down, so not too much. Give it a little flip. That's my presentation side that's now down. That's the side that's gonna go on my hot grill. And then I'm gonna do a really light coating, just really light, you guys. I wanna live for a long time. Too much sodium in your life is not good. Little pepper. And again, if your guests or you want to season more, you absolutely can do that. No right or wrong way. A little more Suzy Q's, beautiful. Chef, can you get that grill on a medium high for me?
Yes.
Thank you. And I'm turning it back over to presentation side. So when I walk over to my grill, I know what side I'm going to cook down first. And so presentation side is the side of the cut that looks the best to present to your guests. And stack these little onions like that, they don't mind. Beautiful. Okay, we're getting that cast iron hot. If you don't have a cast iron, I highly recommend it. They're fantastic. And now's a good time to just say again, thanks to my friends at Sino La Valle. I'm enjoying the Bassi Vineyard Terraces. This is a Syrah. Could be aged 3 to 10 years, but it's drinkable now. I'll just say this too about the wine. My dear friend Robbie, who helped create our brand, he's our photographer. He actually did the label. So this wine is truly one of my favorites, and we're going to enjoy it with the Syrah, but I'm going to take a sip now and make sure it's good to serve to my guests. And it is. So that cast iron's ready to go. It's a beautiful grill. I'm just going to give a little bit of olive, just a light basting, very light. Because I really want that seasoning to beautiful. I got a hot grill back there. You guys ready to grill some Denver cut? It's gonna go fast. If you like medium rare, and that's what we're going for. You can see here, right? Relatively thin. This is maybe 2 minutes aside. We'll talk about that more in a second, but here we go. I got a really hot skillet. Now, if it's too hot, based on, hey, I know people want it medium rare or medium well or well done, I'm gonna go lower heat, right? But initially, I want a nice hot sear. We want that crust. And I'm gonna start left to right. That sizzle's beautiful. Yep. Take your time. Hot pan, you get burned. Take your time. Nice placement. There you go. Perfect. And because my friend Chris here has cooked steak like no one's business, He's gonna mine this for me and we're gonna work on the chimichurri. So chef, can you mine that? We're looking for medium rare. Thank you. All right, the chimichurri, this is fun. So I'm gonna start with my base ingredient, the one I'm gonna use the most of, and that's parsley. I'm doing 3 steaks, so depending on how many people you're gonna have, you just kind of feel it, right? Little scoop there, beautiful. Cilantro, also coriander. And I'm almost going 1 to 1, maybe a little less. Again, there's no right or wrong way. And Chef Chris has done a beautiful job. Oregano. Oregano is really full flavored, very rich. Give it a smell. You're gonna know by smelling it. Yeah, smell the food. It's good to do that. Gonna hit it a little oregano in there. Here's a little trick too. On the oregano leaf, when you see it, farmer's market, if the stem is nice and firm, you can actually just kind of pull the leaves right off the stem, right? You don't want to use the stem. Find the leaves. And then from there, what we're doing, I want to show friends out. I haven't used my knives very much. My beautiful knives from Meister in Ojai, California. Keep those nails tucked in. Those fingers tucked in. Don't want to cut yourself. I've done it once or twice. Use your blade to control. Use your fingers. Here we go. Again, we're tucking those in. Here I'm just doing a really fine mince. And for me, I'm always looking for consistency, right? So I had the privilege of working for Nike. I was in Nike's office. Phil Knight, who started the company back in the 60s. Number 8 was the job's not done until the job's done. So we get it right. That's what we do. And that shows you're cooking with love. So I've got my herbs. Okay. Now I'm going to hit it with some shallot. Shallot's just a really fancy onion. Yeah, that's nice right there. While we're talking about shallots, this is what a shallot looks like, you guys. Most of y'all know that. So for this, I'm going to take the ends off. Yep. And then here's a fun little trick, because there's a little film around, layers. I go almost all the way through, but not all the way through. And then I just fold it in half, like that, and look, it just peels right off. Isn't that fun? Nice little trick. And then from there, you can mince to your heart's delight. And our steak is going quick. Love that. So there's your shallots. Beautiful. From there, shallots, garlic, minced again. I don't cook from recipes. I kind of cook from the heart, cook from feel. Now we're going to add our dry. Add your dry ingredients before you're wet, because sometimes it's hard to see how much pepper, how much salt, how much chili flakes. So we're going to start with a little bit of salt. And again, let yourself be the guide. And if, like Treva, who's a baker, she can also bake without recipes, which blows my mind. Most bakers are recipe, right? Quarter cup here, pinch here. This is not precise the way I cook. If you feel more comfortable as a home chef, learning to cook for the first time, you want to follow a recipe, you guys, there's so many places. YouTube, our website, Snapchat, Pinterest, there's so many places, right? It's a push of a button, find a recipe, and then build your own, right? All right, so now that I was talking, I know I did the salt. We're gonna hit it with a little bit of pepper. The chimichurri is gonna have some spice. Beautiful chili flakes. And I like spice, so I'm gonna hit it pretty good. Now from there, last 2 ingredients, we have our beautiful Essex olive oil and spice. Thank you, Sod. And you're gonna need more than you actually think in the chimichurri, because those herbs are gonna soak that up. Just like water, imagine that. And I can already tell that's not enough oil, and you saw how much went in there. So you want a nice blend, nice little coating. You guys see that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Let's hit it again, just a little bit more. Again, we can always add. I can smell those steaks. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting hungry.
Chef, when you do these herbs, do you use only the leaves or you use the stems as well?
Yeah, that's a great question, Treva. So greenery broken up is greenery. It's all good. In this case, as chefs, we're just going to use the greens. Just the leaves. So just the leaves right here. So that's what Treva's talking about. There's the leaf. This is the stem. All can go in there. This is going to be a little more fibrous, a little crunchy. I want a little more elevated feel of the chimichurri. Great question. Thank you. All right, we're almost at the right consistency. Still think I could use a little bit more oil, but here's where we're going to add our red wine vinegar. And here's where I think chimichurris go wrong. They add too much vinegar. For me, I like balance. I want to taste the herbs. I'm just a little bit, just a touch. and one thing we talk about too is taste as you go. It's okay as you build a sauce, a finishing sauce, any dish, taste it, try it. Is it salty enough? Those are the first two things you want to think about is, does it need more salt? Does it need more pepper? If it doesn't, great, keep moving on. So if those steaks are done, you can bring those over right here. So one of the things too, I'm not in a hurry, right? The steaks were back there. He did an absolutely beautiful job. I can tell that's medium rare to rare, exactly like I like it. If you want a little more doneness, I just kind of feel it. It'll tell you, right? And so when we cut into it, here's the thing about cooking a beautiful steak too, is if you need it cooked more, keep your pan hot. Don't turn it off, okay? But I can tell these are cooked perfectly for how we like it here in our kitchen. What do you think, Chef? A little more olive oil?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I think more olive oil.
Yeah, everyone's saying more olive oil, so we're in consistency. It feels good when people say, yeah, a little more. So
Yeah.
Did we do the citrus yet?
I haven't yet. So it's always nice to have people that are going to keep you honest, right?
Be honest.
Yeah, keep me honest. Cara orange. Navels are good for juicing, but if you want real juice, thank you, Chris. The Caras are incredible. We live in California. We get some great ones, and I'm not afraid to hit that with a lot of citrus. A little lemon. It's going to get that nice, tart, citrusy flavor. Oh yeah, now that's coming together really nicely. Yeah, put your nose in it, smell it, and then because we're all family here, I'm just gonna do a little taste. And again, you guys remember this, every palate's different. Mine's different than yours, so how I do it's okay. How you do it's yours, so lean into really who you are as a chef and find your voice. I'm happy with that. Now, what we haven't done, we have a hot pan. We're gonna let these steaks rest for another minute. It's okay, no? No, I don't. So, we have some beautiful steak rendering. We're gonna go onion. And then remember our king trumpet mushrooms. And watch, this is what's happened in the last couple minutes. That oil's been soaked up. These mushrooms wanna absorb. And so I'm just gonna hit it with a little more olive oil, like this little trick with my finger right there. That's good. Thank you, Chef.
Yeah.
Those onions are going. I like crisp to my veggies. I don't like mushy veggies. I don't know how you like them, but that's how we do it. So we're gonna get these king trumpets. And again, that beautiful scoring, when that caramelizes, gonna give it a nice brown. We're gonna have a beautiful plate. So face down. Yeah, we got some good heat here. While those are going, right, we like to clean as we go. Those steaks are resting. You know, letting a steak rest for 5 minutes is okay, right? You can cover it with foil. That's a good way to go. But those steaks are too pretty to cover up, so we're gonna just leave them just as they are. And today what we're gonna do, we're gonna just kind of do a family style presentation. So family style meaning I'm gonna put it on a platter. Your guests are gonna be sitting and they can take as they go, or you can serve them. Our chimichurri is looking great. Yeah, beautiful. Look at that. And this beautiful jus right here, don't waste that. That's the good stuff. We'll just get that a little wipe down. Thank you so much. We've got our chimichurri. So again, I'm gonna incorporate the chimichurri onto the dish. But as a side, right, you always, if the guests want a little bit more, provide that for them. Those are beautiful surprise and delights. It says, hey, I really thought about you, I care about you. And as you've seen throughout the show, every event that we do, I do a handwritten, drawn menu, whatever it is. We have a little Morro Bay rock where we live in Morro Bay. And then we'll just kind of line it out. So that's a really fun way, a creative way to let your guests know if you're doing something special. Hand-drawn menu, you can photocopy it, put it at the table. People are going to really appreciate that little touch. We're going to go back to these. Yeah, they're telling me it's time to flip. Yeah, we got some nice caramel. So you're looking for some brown, not burnt, right? It's the natural sugars that are doing their thing. Yeah, and those mushrooms are nice, very nice. And again, you guys, these mushrooms, I'm gonna go a little lower heat. We got a nice char there, so we're just gonna let those go for another minute or so. We're getting really close here. The steaks have been resting for a nice amount of time. We're gonna pull these off. You guys, cast iron's really hot, so as you know, yeah, thanks. Beautiful. Beautiful, thank you. Take your time. When you get going fast, that's when mistakes happen. And if you looked at my fingers and knuckles, you're gonna know that there's times I've gone too fast. So slow down, take a breath. Love it. Okay, those are finishing there. Fun thing to do too, especially with nice olive oil. Just give it a little finish. It's gonna give it a nice little sheen. It's just one extra step that says you really care about what you're doing. And Chef Chris, Chef Treva can attest that we really care about what we're doing. And if you're watching, I think you do too. Beautiful. And another beautiful time to say cheers, whatever you're drinking, whether it's a beautiful glass of wine, whatever it is, enjoy it. Our beautiful purveyors work so hard to make so many incredible things for us to enjoy. Okay, now we're ready to plate, you guys. This is the fun part. You've worked hard all day, you've shopped, you've planned, you've prepped, you've spent, you've invited guests, they're at the table. This is the time for you to shine, especially as chefs. It's okay to take a minute. Feel it. You're the creative, you're the artist. They're there for you, right? They're there for what you're preparing and presenting. So as we cut this beautiful Denver cut from Foster's, Sundry in Brooklyn. God, I can't wait to go back. I use a serrated knife. A lot of chefs use a chef's knife, whatever you want, whatever you like the most. I like the serrated knife. And depending on thickness, again, there's no right or wrong, but I use my finger as a guide. That's about 1 inch, and that steak is cooked absolutely perfectly, chef. Thank you, Chris. I'm kind of going on a bias, and if I'm doing multiple cuts, I'm going to keep this together to keep the heat in, so you can just kind of use your fingers, slide in there. Same thing. That knife just rips right through that beautiful cut of meat. Same thing here, okay? And from presentations, I know all the pieces I have because I'm organized. And I'm thinking safety because I saw that in the hot billet, the hot cast iron, and I'm going to be wise and use the right tool. Having the right tools, the right kit, really important. Again, I use Messermeister knives. They're incredible. Great knives on the market. Invest in good knives. Keep them sharp. Keep them stored well. Okay, now for presentation. All right, again, this is the fun part, right? So the star of the show is the zabuton, or the Denver cut. We're just kind of play with it. Again, there's no right or wrong way, right? This is just Chef Don's way. Doesn't mean you have to do it this way. Be creative. Take your time and realize your guests aren't going to eat until you serve them. Now, if it's you and you need to eat fast, then go fast. I get that. Okay, beautiful. Now from here, I want to show, thank you, Treva. I want to show some of this beautiful meat, right? Cooked medium rare. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, perfect, chef. Bring the pieces that you want up to you off that hot pan. Got our king oyster mushrooms. Beautiful onions. Look at that char. Nice and tender. For the onions, what I like to do, I like to use the wheels. So I'm going to kind of just pull them apart and then pick and choose which ones I like the best. When you're plating, sometimes simplicity is the best. Don't overdo it. Beautiful. Those are ready to go. My mushrooms are ready to go. I like to use my fingers. Just make sure they're clean. And then you just build. And again, there's no right or wrong way to do it. I'd say it depends on who you're doing it for, right? What the event is, who the people are. I really like to just kind of let it flow, be organic. But again, you might find you need a little more technicality. You might need to use tweezers, which I have in here, but I'm not going to use because that's typically not the type of chef I am. Beautiful. Oyster mushrooms. I'm always trying to create some height. So use what you have. Think about directionality, height. And if it pleases your eyes, chances are it's going to please your guest's eyes. We've got our chimichurri. And that'll marry. And listen, when you guys make a chimichurri, make it a day, 2, 3, 4 days in advance. These flavors will come together just absolutely beautifully. And because I know my guests like chimichurri, we're going to hit it hard. Yeah. Be an artist. Have fun with it. You worked hard for this. Beautiful. Okay. And as we finish, I'm looking at the plate, right? What does it need? But I like to incorporate things that I have used in the chimichurri, in the marinade. Right? Color's a beautiful thing. So this beautiful cara can even be squeezed, if you want, over the dish. And you guys, I'm just making this up as I go. But again, that's my style of being a chef. Very fluid, very organic. Okay. Fresh parsley. This is fun. Just dust it. Not too much. Give it some color. Okay. And there we are. Zabuton. Cast iron seared. Chimichurri, grilled onions, king oyster mushroom, finished with cara oranges. Enjoy.
Or the Denver.
Or the Denver cut. Thank you. Thank you.
Just saying.
Just saying. So cheers.
Welcome back, everyone. We are ready for our delightful finishes. So I'm going to take the cake out of the oven. I've already taken it out of the pan. Usually with a cake, you want to get a small little knife and just work your way around the edge, flip it out. So I already have it plated. So we're going to now zhuzh it up.
We like the word zhuzh. It's fun.
So I have some strawberries here. We like to fan our strawberries when we do things, and if you don't know how to do that, all you do is you take a strawberry. You don't cut all the way through. You just cut little tiny pieces just to the base of the stem. And we like to make everything look really beautiful, and then you just fan it out like this.
Expertly done.
So I'm going to pipe a layer of whipping cream to give it a really nice soft center. And just went in a spiral, not a big deal. This is whipping cream I whipped in a bowl for about 5 minutes with the hand mixer. I like to do that before, just fluffles things up really quickly.
When you can.
Fluffle's a real word. We make up a lot of words in our scene.
Now she's smushing it.
Now I'm smushing
Big
it.
smushing on the whipped cream. Do you see that?
So I like to make the cakes high. So now I'm just going to put a tiny dollop here in the center. Nothing super fancy, just something real simple. Little height. And then I melted chocolate in the microwave. And I wanted to make little curls, but I honestly, it got a little bit too warm. So that's okay. We just work with it. So I'm going to put little pieces of, the chocolate still tastes great. Just kind of work with it. I'm going to put some chocolate pieces in here. And then you come through with your strawberries. And you can go tips up or tops up. Just depends on whatever you're feeling. So I'm going to kind of go back and forth with that. And I already fanned out my other one. And we already sprinkled lots of love in it, so this is going to be tops up. And we're going to have Chef Donnie cut that for us. So when we go to present, we can also zhuzh it up a little bit with little more dollops, saving more of this whipped cream for that, and a little bit of the chocolate pieces for more zhuzhing.
Zhuzhing.
Zhuzhing. It's a fun word.
So this is on a plate. I'm going to put it on a cutting board so I get the cut. So because she works so hard at this, I got it, Chef.
Okay, you got it?
Yeah. I'm just going to bring it right here. Okay. Depending on how many guests we have.
Okay.
For this case, it's 2. We're going to serve some more people, but that's later. So I'm going to go right down the middle. Nice firm cut. Beautiful. Right through again. Get your plate, presentation. Slide your knife under. And depending on how you want to present, when you pull it out, you can kind of see, oh, that's gorgeous. Look at the layers, absolutely beautiful. I'm going to use my thumb, control that, make sure that strawberry stays there. Yeah, and then we move, beautiful. Go that, yeah. Now she's going to add a little whipped cream. I'm going to cut another slice. Nice firm cut. Beautiful. Nice little finish. And again, all this says, hey, we love you, we care about you. Beautiful.
There you go.
And there you are. Treva, do you want to introduce your dessert one more time?
Yes, this is a pecan-crusted marble cake. It's gluten-free. And it's not made with milk either.
I tell her not to say it's gluten-free, but you guys, it's delicious. Try it gluten-free. If you don't like it, go back to the traditional way, but the gluten-free is incredible. Love you.
Love you.
Enjoy.
Plated with love.
Plated with love. Well, hello friends. We are so happy to close the show today with just a quick recap of all the beautiful things we've done today. We've done Gems from the Sea, where we had the Grassy Bar oysters from my good friend George at Grassy Bar Oyster Company, Morro Bay, where we call home, Treva and I home. We topped them with a beautiful mignonette. We played with caviar from the incomparable Caviar Company, the Caviar Company in San Francisco. Petra, your team, you guys are doing beautiful work. Thank you for educating people how to enjoy caviar. We hope we showed a couple of different ways to do it. Then we moved on to grilled artichokes. Initially in the market, they can be tough, but when you see how to do it, very easy. Citrus aioli, and we topped it with some beautiful Kaluga caviar, little lemon wheel, some chili, beautiful. Then we moved on to the Zabaton, or the Denver cut, from our good friends at Foster Sundry in Brooklyn. Incredible cut of meat. Chef Chris, thank you for cooking it
Thank you.
expertly. You're the right man to be on my right hand. I feel very privileged to have you here, so thank you.
Likewise.
We paired it with a beautiful chimichurri, king oyster mushrooms, onions, a little cara, and then we finished with a beautiful pecan-crusted marble fudge cake. I'm gonna eat this whole thing when we're done, by the way, with whipped cream, a little strawberry. So thank you. We hope you enjoyed a time here. And again, thank you to Treva, my other half, who runs our business with us. Our guests love her, loves everything she does. I'm so grateful for her. And for Chris, the best chef in New York City, thank you.
Thank you.
And so we bid you adieu and goodbye. We hope to see you next time.